Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leroy Briones, and we are live here at Mayfield Batting Cages here in Del Rio, Texas, for the start of our new podcast. And as you can hear cars passing by, it's a little warm today, but we're doing okay. We like it in here. We like to sweat a little bit, and most importantly, we like the baseball atmosphere. We're starting our brand new podcast, The B-Boys. So we are Leroy Briones Sr. and Leroy Briones Jr. And this was something that I wanted to do, was start a podcast with my son, talk about baseball, sports, NFL, NBA. Although we got to study up on NBA because we don't know a lot of stats on NBA, but we definitely love college football. We love all sports. And so we wanted to take this first episode to introduce ourselves and introduce what we'll be doing. Well, first of all, let's thank Mr. and Mrs. Mayfield. Let's thank Jack and Jackie, which is really cool names, right?
Yeah, I like it.
So he's actually off conquering the world in Mexico, I think, right? I think that he's playing in Mexico right now.
Tijuana.
Who?
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Toros, something like that.
Yeah, so we'd like to thank him and his lovely wife for allowing us to come in. We actually come, I don't know how many times a week.
A few times a week, yeah.
A few times a week to work out and try to get better at what we're doing. So we'd like to thank you guys. We also like to thank Sanchez Roofing, who's always got your back, Coach Raul. We'd also like to thank South Texas Angels, South Texas Sting, Del Rio Little League, Del Rio Babe Ruth, Coach Pete. Coach Pete and everyone that we've encountered in our baseball community. So without further ado, we're going to do some introductions, starting off with my son, which if you played Babe Ruth with him last year, they called him Papitas. If you played Little League or Pee Wee football with him, they called him Hollywood. I call him Papo. His mom calls him Papo. His little sister calls him worse words, trust me. But without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Some of you guys know me from Babe Ruth, all that. I really enjoy the game of baseball. I kind of play all around, try to do as best as I can. I always try to keep up a good attitude to everyone. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say, but I try to go all around infield, help out my team best as I can. I enjoy playing baseball, being supportive, doing all that good stuff.
What grade are you going to?
I'm going into 9th grade, so I got a lot to look up to.
You got a lot of work ahead of you this year. Talk to us a little about your baseball career, kind of where you started to where you're at right now.
Okay, so I started in Little League when I was in 6th grade.
So a little late to the game.
Very late, yes.
But why did you start so late? Let's make that clear here in front of everybody. Why did you start so late?
So, honestly, I don't really know why.
I do. Let me clarify that. Because I tried to get you into baseball when you were young, but you did play T-ball.
Yeah. But
your mom, you said, I don't want to do baseball. And your mom jumped all over my case and was like, if he doesn't want to do it, then he's not going to do it. So then you did that little giggle and you went to your room.
Yep.
But then here come an Astros game that I took you to, and you fell in love with baseball. And the following year, which was what grade for you?
6th grade.
You joined Little League, right? And we have not stopped ever since, right? Is that true?
Yep.
So we could have been doing baseball earlier, but no. So we're here now, and this was second year of Babe Ruth. So you've actually been working baseball nonstop this last year. You started off we finished off last year with the Del Rio Dodgers. We jumped with the Del Rio Express. Shout out to Coach Donnie. We played with him the fall. As soon as we finished with Express, we tried out for South Texas Angels, and we were fortunate enough to make that team. And then we played with Coach Rosales. What's up, Coach Rosales? Shout out. Coach. And then Coach De La Garza. Thanks, Coach De La Garza, for everything. It was a really good season for you. We traveled Eagle Pass at least
2 times a week.
It was
2-3 times a week.
2-3 times a week, and there were 3-hour practices, and it was from January, and you just finished in May. So that was a big, big, big thing for you. As far as progression, as far as you developing and getting bigger, that worked out really well for you. Then right towards the end of the Angels, you went back to rec ball with Babe Ruth, which by that time that team had already changed to the Lions. And then you played with the Lions, and by that time you were throwing the ball harder as a pitcher. You were playing shortstop for them. You played second. Shout out to everybody at the Babe Ruth Lions, all the teammates, everybody. Coach Jay, Coach Oscar, Coach Pete, First Lady Miss Gina. Thank you so much for allowing us. And that's kind of when I got crazy with the whole live streaming, right?
Yeah.
I went wild. I'm like down a rabbit hole right now with live streaming and getting everything done. But talk to us a little bit what happened with Babe Ruth. Talk to us how that happened. What happened towards the end of the season for you?
So yeah, I had a very good season with Babe Ruth. That's when I actually started hitting the ball way more, fielding the ball way more, just overall getting more of a feel for playing infield, pitching, hitting, all that. Also did get hit a lot too, which hurt bad. Well, I still needed that, but towards the end of the season, I did real good, and surprisingly, I made All-Stars. So I was very excited for that.
Talk to us about when you got the call for All-Stars, how that worked out for you.
So I was going back from summer workouts in the morning, and my dad sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, you made All-Stars." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "That's cool." And he sent me like a screenshot of like the group chat and where we're going. So we were headed to Monroe, Louisiana.
Monroe, Louisiana. That's right. So I think right when you were making All-Stars, we also got an invitation to go try out for South Texas Sting with Coach Jake Robles, who is head coach at TLU, Texas Lutheran University, right? And so you went out and tried out. I think you were like maybe one of like 14U. Everybody else was 17, 18 years old, right? And you balled out over there. I think you had a really good tryout. You were smacking the ball. A little intimidated when those 18-year-olds were here stop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you felt.
Oh, my gosh. Those balls were getting smacked. Like sometimes they'd get barreled, and they'd spin so much that you think they're going straight at you, and they just swerve to the floor. And it's crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, I was able to get in front of a few of them, and I was able to get them, but those balls were flying.
Yeah, I those were a good experience. So we were fortunate enough to get double good news where you made Babe Ruth, and then we found out through Coach that you had also made South Texas Sting. You've been working probably the last year and a half nonstop, right? You got a pretty good, strong routine during the week. You got your pitching on Mondays. You have batting. We also like to send out shout out to Coach Alex.
Coach Alex.
Coach Alex plays for college ball at
Olu. Already the Lake University
in San Antonio, and he works with him when he comes off in his off season. We'd like to thank Alan. Coach Alan, he's been pitching with him, right? So that's been really, really freaking cool to see the progression. A lot of people think, man, that's a lot for a kid, but I want to reiterate that I don't make these decisions for you. You make them, and I just support you. And if we start something, we got to finish it. So it's really, as a dad, it's been really inspiring to see you work as hard as you've been working to get and achieve the goals that you've wanted. I think it's fair to say that you didn't start off in infield. You started off outfield.
Right field.
Right field, right?
Left field, right field, last of the lineup.
And you struggled?
Dropped every ball hit to me.
Yeah, and I think when we played with Express, you probably had 2 hits the whole season.
Very weak flares, very weak grounders, barely hit them.
Yeah, and so for you, it's been nothing but hard work, right? And we've been here sweating, and we've been here with jackets on and stuff like that. So that's really cool. I'm real proud of you in that sense, and I'm continue to see your growth and stuff like that. So that's cool. Well, my name is Leroy Briones. Some of you in the community know me. I used to be a DJ, and we used to do Noche Caliente, and we had a really good time while we were doing that. We own a small business in Uvalde, Texas, so I commute from Del Rio to Uvalde. Exceptionally proud of the work that we do in Uvalde at our business. And so I have 6 children, starting with AJ, Sadie. Then we have the twins, which he failed to mention that he is a twin.
Yep.
His name is Leroy, and his sister's name is Leah Bella. Then we have Laylee, and then we have Leanna, the smallest baby. So she's like my favorite.
Nope.
She's my favorite. She's going to be getting everything, right?
No.
I love her to death. I love all my kids to death. I am a dad who is essentially wanting to be there for them in everything they do. And again, we're here live at Mayfield, so if you hear cars passing by, we've got the garage doors open. Shout out to the Mayfields for letting us be here. But I am a dad who wants to be there for their children. This was an idea that I had with my son for a while. And so, with that being said, we started to put the plan together. The name of the podcast is The B-Boys. So we'll be trying to put out more content for you guys. We hope you guys enjoy this episode as we, go through it. This main episode was the introductions of what this show is and who we are and what you'll be experiencing here. Hopefully we'll get some guests as we move on through the podcast, but nonetheless, we are from Del Rio. I was born and raised here, the Briones family, and my son is obviously a Briones as well. So we are natives to Del Rio. We try to support small businesses as much as we can because we do have a small business. We travel and do a lot of travel, baseball and sports. My daughter is involved, his twin sister in basketball. So with that being said, we are in a scenario where as parents, we're involved in their lives as much as we can. So sometimes we lose ourselves, my wife and I, because we are lost in games and we got things going on. And so it gets a little difficult for us. But we're Saturday. It is Saturday today. It is June 28th. So we're right before 4th of July. And we're out here filming, our very first podcast. So with that being said, this is the B-Boys podcast, and you'll be able to find us on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Lee Briones. You can look me up, Lee Briones, and we'll have some stuff on the screen. It'll pop up. You'll be able to like and subscribe and follow us as we begin. This is our very first podcast. Do not laugh at us because we're falling apart and trying to get everything situated and trying to get our cameras working right. So we're very grateful to be here and be in front of you and be presenting and putting things together for you guys as far as sports. So with that being said, I think we got it pretty much for introductions, right? Talk to us a little bit about All-Stars for Del Rio and how that's kind of working. You're going to compete in the 14U, right? Where y'all going?
So we're going to be heading to Monroe, Louisiana.
Yeah.
We're fixing to set off during like July 16th to 20th. The tournament's going to be beginning. So we'll probably play like a minimum of like 4 games. Other than that. So I've just been looking forward to it. Looking forward to playing against these teams. Some good experience, some good exposure. So other than that, we've been practicing a lot, getting the work in. So that's basically how it's been going so far.
Yeah, I think they're taking 12 players for Babe Ruth 14U. They're also taking a Babe Ruth 16U up there as well. I don't have a lot of information on the 16U as far as where they're playing. I don't know if they're playing in Monroe, Louisiana also. But we're actually playing in Sterling, Louisiana. And we'll be live streaming it. You'll be able to find it on this channel, the game. Everyone's kind of prepping the summer, right? There's a lot of stuff going on this summer. Everybody's got doing Code Blue workouts. There's travel basketball with Del Rio Thunder. Thunder's going on also. They've got workouts at the high school. I think you've gone to a couple of those. So everybody's kind of gearing up, for this coming year. I know that you and I had a conversation about dropping football and focusing on baseball. I think I'm having more of a hard time with us making that decision than you are. I think you're pretty good about it. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, like I enjoyed playing football. I enjoyed the excitingness, the mental state of it. I enjoyed being a quarterback and leading my team through the tough games and the good wins and the good moments. So yeah, I'm still able to let it go, but at the same time, just looking back at it, I had fun during my middle school career, I guess. So
yeah, definitely, it was definitely good times, and I think that as we progress in sports in high school, we start because you were doing like 4 sports during the year, right? Never made the basketball team. We tried though.
We tried.
We tried as hard as we could. They just got some monsters over there, man. Shout out to Victor Hugo out there. Shout out to Jaron, which Jaron also playing 17U as a 15? He's 15 years old, right?
Yeah, 14, 15.
Shout out to Jaron playing that 17U representing Del Rio. I'm real excited about the athletes we have coming out of here. We have little Mario. I like to call him Super Mario. We have him coming up, and you guys work out together, and he played with the Angels. Jaron played with the Angels as well. We had Stoney that went out to New York and played in New York. So I'm real excited about athletes that are finally coming out. They got Little Eddie. Little Eddie's playing with South Texas Horns. Shout out to Coach Diego and everything he's doing for travel. You played for Coach Diego also. I think you went out and helped him on a 13U
tournament.
Yeah, he closed out one of the innings for him. So, that I'm real excited about what's coming out of Del Rio. High school's looking great. Coach Raul, his boys,
Those are good. Yeah, you guys are good.
they're pitching really strong. So, it's nice to see that. Of course, our community
Yeah.
favorite, Jack Mayfield,
Mr. Mayfield.
all the way to MLB, right? All the way to MLB and
Sure.
representing Del Rio. And I have to also mention, Jaren's dad, Jacob Valadez. He was a beast in high school, played strong, and so we have that kind of talent here in Del Rio. That's one thing that we look forward to, the generations coming up, and then the coaching staffs. Of course, we have the Flores family. Gene Flores, the senior, was my coach. And I remember he used to say, Briones weight room, every time I throw from the outfield. But I was like, Coach, I'm like 85 pounds soaking wet. I'm trying, my freshman year playing ball. His boys, Gene and Luis, of course, went pretty far playing baseball as well. So shout out to them. Shout out to Cripple Creek. They're affiliated with Cripple Creek Restaurant, local family-owned restaurant. So shout out to Cripple Creek as well. But, it's good to see stuff like that coming out of, Del Rio. What do you think about this coming year for our sports and Ramball? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think about are you nervous about it?
Not really. I kind of have a legit stuff, like who's going to make it, who's not. I have some good friends from middle school or like we're on it with Ramball and all that. So I'm kind of expecting knowing who's going to make it and who's not. Other than that, not really worried about it.
Well, let me tell you something from experience. You could never, ever, ever prejudge who's going to make it and who's not. Because I didn't think I was going to make it. And at the end of the year, I busted butt and I did make it. So good luck to all the boys. They're going to be trying out for Ramball, even for football. I mean, football, we got Coach Casillas coming up.
Yeah.
He's leaving 8th and he's coming to freshman now is what I heard. So I'm sure, they're going to have a good football team. They had a good football team last year in 8th grade. So he knows what to look for. They got little Adam coming up, little Adam Galindo. Yeah, man, he's looking like a beast, man. You see him working out and putting in the work and stuff like that. So it's good to see him and his family and all of the results from all of the hard work. So, any predictions this year so far that you got for football? The Longhorns going all the way to the top again?
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, I'm definitely predicting that college football, heck yeah, Longhorns took them. They're probably going to go towards the number 1 again. Other than that, I could see maybe Ohio State, some other good colleges, some other good schools going up in the rankings.
Yeah.
So
also, too, speaking of current events and things that are going to happen, we want to send a big good luck to the ladies, the girls from Little League, the seniors softball team. They're in Uvalde right now representing. They are actually, I think, at district. They've already completed the first bracket and won, and so now they lost last night. It was a bad loss. I believe they lost by 5-6 runs, and today they're playing again. So we want to wish them all the luck in the world today as they play in Uvalde for the double elimination. So they've already lost one. So hopefully today they can knock it out of the park and then continue from there. So I'm real proud of them. I hope they take it. I hope they go. Coach Valde Briones, he's up there also along with the coaching staff. Working, so we want to wish them a big good luck up there, and everyone who's still competing in the league. There's a lot of conversation happening right now between Babe Ruth and Little League, as far as maybe uniting the two. Of course, we'd lose the Babe Ruth name, but we would unite under Little League, and then they would open a seniors division. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that could be a pretty good idea, honestly. Yeah, because some people they don't really think of Little League as like a really good league. Like, I feel like more people are real involved in Little League than Baby Ruth, honestly. Just by playing and like a year in Little League and like a few years in Baby Ruth, it's just a big crowd difference, really.
I think it's going to be a positive thing. I think if anything, we're going to be able to extend that invitation for people in Little League to stay in Little League. The transition will be smoother for them to move to the next spot. I mean, there's going to be bigger fields for that. But, Babe Ruth was awesome, and just the participation alone has dropped significantly over the years, and I think that in Little League we can still capture these players as they move on. But, again, it's just conversation. Nothing's happened yet. I want to send a big shout-out to Babe Ruth board, Mrs. Harrington, Mr. Ortiz, Ray, everyone who makes that, Mr. Vargas, Albert Vargas, everyone who makes that board and that league possible, all the hard work that they do. Thank you, Babe Ruth. Thank you for keeping rec ball alive for us and for Papo and for everybody. So I'm real excited about the upcoming season and what that may mean for more opportunities for them, right? Also, too, Ram football's coming up.
Yep.
All Ram football. We're looking forward for the varsity. Hopefully they come out swinging this year, and hopefully that means, having seats in the stands is not a problem. They have people there all the time, but hopefully we can go far, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, probably since I was in school, that Ram football went far. And so we want to see them participate. We want to see them go up and in the brackets and in the standings. So hopefully that'll happen for us.
Yeah, we can hope, yeah.
Well, and I think what's important to understand is that, it's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. You got to love them no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? They put you through some heck, bro. You know that. The Cowboys put you through some pain.
Yep.
But I think that at this point right now, we have to understand that, you have to rebuild. You have to focus on fundamentals. And I think that the Ram football team is off to a good start. I think that the training's been good. They've been working on it over summer. We see them out there working out as we go out to the field and work out. So I'm real excited about that. So with that being said, been a lot that we've talked about, our introduction and about our podcast and how things are going. I want to send a big shout out to my wife, Nelly Briones, and for allowing us to put these crazy things together. I want to send a big shout out to my family. Anybody you want to send a shout out to?
No, not really, no. Also, I think I might want to give a few shout outs to my coaches just for overall getting on to me if I'm off on my mechanics, anything bad. Just want to say a big thank you for that. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as we progress in this podcast, you'll have the opportunity to, address a little bit more. I promise we'll be a little bit more organized as we get this together. And, our first podcast, we've been a little nervous about how the layout was going to happen and how things were. Again, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mayfield, for allowing us to be here at the Mayfield facility and, sit here and give us this opportunity to record out of your location. I think it's especially important that you talk a little bit about your fundraising activities before we close out and what you're doing to fundraise for the Louisiana trip.
So, yeah, we have started some fundraisers. I believe we're doing a board, right?
We're doing a board online right now.
We're doing a board. So I guess it's got like a few baseballs around the field, and you pick a baseball and you send us money. So
what's that money for? I think it's important to have some clarity, when you're fundraising and things like that.
So I think so all this money is going towards our trip to Louisiana. We're going to have gear, helmets, jerseys. So we're all trying to fundraise so we can all pay for that together.
Absolutely. And then, I think that you should thank the people that have already donated to you and giving you some fundraising money. Do you know who those people were?
Yeah, my buddy Pancho.
Balvantin is his last name. Yeah.
Lisa Jensen for helping me out. Big D.
And the Jensen family. And then her mom, Big D, right? Coach Raul from Sanchez.
Thank you, Coach.
Roofing and gutters. They do gutters as well.
Let's see. Let me think.
We've done Ashley Furniture, Mr. Ryan Ricks and his family, Mrs. Ricks, a beautiful family they have. And we did the brisket sale where people drove by and gave donations. And so we're still actively fundraising. We're almost there. Boys are going to be well equipped. We'd like to also thank the Herrera family, Miss Rita, for stepping up and helping us do that as well. So I think it was important for you kind of just put that out there that we're still fundraising and what the people have done and give them a good shout out because without the small community coming together, these boys in rec ball don't have direction. So you've got baseball games till then, though. You're still playing with South Texas Sting with Coach Jake Robles. He's out of what college? TLU, right?
Yeah, TLU,
Texas Lutheran University, head coach there, and he's also got the Sting program. We were fortunate enough to make that team. That was something we didn't think was going to happen. And so you did really well out there. And so we were playing on the weekends with him. It's Coach Jake Robles, but also Coach Jacob, right? And he's also Jake, but we call him Jacob. So it's weird. You got two Jakes in that program. But once again, without these individuals, these coaches, these independent programs, these travel teams, and us doing our part. Some of these coaches have a lot to offer the kids, and if you're committed enough, I know it's a psychotic program to be in. Travel is not for everybody, but if you're committed enough and your child does get a lot out of it, and you do it rather. So with that being said, thank you so much. We'd like to thank everybody who joined us today in our podcast. Like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
We'll see y'all later.
Thank you. Bye.